G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So we'll jump straight into Go Battle League, and I've got a new team. So Bastiodon, Medicham and Shadow Victreebel. So I was running the grasshole team, so slight change up into Medicham as a swap, and the reason for that is flyers will still be weak to it. But it also has a whole lot more play against any of the steel types that come up. So on the first game, completely wrong swap there. Used to, obviously, the team with grass in the first slot. Swapped into Medicham against an Azumarill. I would recommend you never do that. I should be swapping into the Shadow Vic. I'll need to shield up once, but then you can completely farm down, and this would have been a very, very easy game. Unfortunately, swapped in the wrong thing. My mistake, and that cost me pretty dearly because there goes the Medicham just deleted. So what have we got in the back? So out comes Venusaur. So Venusaur's going to be okay. So had Medicham on Venusaur with Psychic, and so that's the reason I'm running Psychic as well. People don't expect to see a Psychic, and it can hit for a lot of neutral damage. So if you are stuck in the Azumarill match, a lot of neutral damage, and Azumarills will generally not shield a Medicham because they're expecting Power Punch and Ice Punch as its moves. So I like to run Power Punch and Psychic because people aren't expecting it. So we'll jump into the second game, and hopefully that one won't be quite as much of a shambles. Game one, always a bit rough. So Alola Marowak on the lead, so not a bad lead for me, and they switched straight into the Ferrothorn. So unfortunately the switch didn't happen there as I clicked it, and I was a bit late to getting in. I do have to eat one Power Whip, and then I'll throw the Power Up Punch to try and bait a shield, and also obviously give me a bit of a boost. So no shield there, unfortunately, and they will run Power Whip again. But as you can see, the Medicham is absolutely destroyed the Ferrothorn, so really good there. Waiting for the next thing to come out. I am expecting it to be the Alola Marowak. There is the Psychic, and as you can see, they're not expecting it, so no shield, and I was able to take off a massive amount of health. So I had to throw the Bone Club to stop being, didn't want to take any more damage. Was expecting to see the switch out as soon as I put Bastiodon in. Again, the fast switch into Shadow Vic didn't happen, so I was a bit slow on the switch, but I will need to shield up once, and then I can farm down, and at that point opponent said thanks very much, and out they went. So that was a pretty solid matchup there. So game number 2 went well. Really helps when you don't switch in the complete wrong Pokemon. So into this next one, so Shadow's Shiftry on the lead versus Bastiodon. So they've switched out into the Azumarill, and obviously straight into the Shadow Vic, so don't make the same mistake twice. Have to shield up once, but then can completely farm that down. So not sure what to expect to come out here. Do they have a flyer, or are we going to see the Shadow Vic? So no, so out comes Alolan Marowak. So going to throw the acid spray there just to soften it up a bit, and as you can see, even though the Razor Leafs are resisted, it did so much damage. So not going to shield this first one up, expecting it to be a Bone Club, which it is, and then they swap back into their Shiftry. I'm able to jump into my Medicham to match that, and that's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to be able to don't need to throw anything more. Opponent says see you later again. So working out really well to have the Medicham. Everyone's expecting to see the grasshole team, so double Bastiodon and double grass in the back, so really good for me. So this is a terrible lead. So what I'm going to do is swap into my Shadow Vic here. They're obviously going to swap out, and unfortunately the they've got a Hypno. Hypno absolutely deletes Shadow Vic. Thankfully, they didn't actually shield that up, so we're even on shields, and I was able to take out the Shadow Vic. So I am expecting them to come in with whatever they had that wasn't Azumarill, because and taking the chance. So thankfully for me, I was able to get my Bastiodon lined up with the Skarmory, but that still leaves the Azumarill to take care of. So with Medicham to try and take out an Azumarill, it's a real tough ask. So successfully shielded up the Play Rough, which is really, really good. Charged up to the Psychic, through the Power-Up Punch, didn't get a shield, so this is not looking so good. So at this point, I throw another Power-Up Punch, try and bait that shield, am not able to get that shield. Waiting for them to throw energy. They're going to throw it now. It's not quite enough to take me out, so I do, and they make a swap straight into Skarmory to try and charge me down and get that last bit of energy. I was quick enough on the swap and able to get the Bastiodon in without the Medicham fainting. So I've undercharged that a lot because I don't want to actually take it out, and so they've actually decided not to, they've decided to shield, and I'm not going to let them get to another charge move, so I'll charge that down. Out comes the Azumarill, and I'm able to charge down, or fast move farm down an Azumarill with a Bastiodon. So really good game there, and able to take that one. So had to be really on point with the switches. Obviously having to deal with an Azumarill and a Skarmory in the back is not ideal. So on this one, another Shiftry on the lead, so expecting the swap out, it doesn't come. Need to count those fast moves. It's going to be a Leaf Blade, through it comes. And then they decide to swap into their own Bastiodon. So at that point, I've got perfect counter for it, and that is good old Medicham. So going to just throw these power-up punches and really go to town. So if it is the Stone Edge, is going to be resistant and do absolutely no damage to me, and at this point I'm going to just farm all the way down. So let's see what comes in next. So in comes the Shiftry. So that's interesting. I wonder what's in the back that they do not want to see this Medicham. So I will just throw another power-up punch, expect to get a shield, which I do, and then out comes a Wish Cash. So unfortunately I did throw the power-up punch. I am able to come out with the Shadow Vic, and at this point, no, they're not going to leave, but this is GG's right here. So able to fast move farm down the Shiftry, so really good there. Able to put in the work with the Medicham. Able to go 4-1 in that set, so obviously had I not switched into my Medicham into an Azumarill instead of switching in the Shadow Vic, would have gone 5-1. So first game, and we've got Shadow Machamp on the lead, so that's pretty bad for me. So they're slow in the switch, so I'm able to take a lot of energy and farm a lot of, take a lot of health and farm a lot of energy, and gives me time to get to the Leaf Blade against the Hypno. Hypno is out, so I bring in my Bastiodon to farm that up. So they don't think they have enough energy for a Focus Blast. They don't. It's just a Fire Punch. So they're going to throw back-to-back Fire Punches here. So lots of people are running Fire and Thunder, or Thunder and Ice. So lots of... And I was too slow on the swap, on the charge move there. So they got the next Fire Punch off. And even worse, we CMP tied. So there goes all of my energy. Unfortunately, it was enough to take it out. So out comes the Galarian Stunfisk. So this was very, very fast. So I'm not going to shield this up because it will just be the Rock Slide, and then I will go for the Power Up Punch. So obviously wanting to boost that damage as quickly as I can. So I'm going to shield this one up. I don't know whether it's going to be the Earthquake. No, just another Rock Slide bait, but that's absolutely fine. Out comes the Machamp. I'm going to shield that up as well, and then I'm going to farm down completely. Throw the next power-up punch as soon as the Galarian Stunfisk comes back out. Expect to get the shield, which I do, and then be able to get to another power-up punch and throw that and take out the Galarian Stunfisk. So really good game right there. Able to take that one fairly comfortably after a very, very hard lead loss. So jumping straight into the next game, and we'll see what we get. So the reason I like Bastiodon into Swampert, horrible lead. So for this one, I'm going to swap into the Medicham because obviously, I've got a much more favourable matchup with the Shadow Vic, but they're obviously going to switch in, and they've got a Flyer. So obviously, in comes the Flyer to take out this Medicham. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get to the second power-up punch, but will be able to come in with the Bastiodon to get some energy. So let's see what move they're running. I'm expecting a Brave Bird, and it is. So I'm going to drop their defense. I'll probably get to a second Brave Bird. No, able to fast move farm them down. Now expecting to see the Swampert come back in, which it does, and then out comes the Shadow Vic and able to absolutely delete it. So for them, they were just too slow on the switch and able to absolutely destroy it with Shadow Vic. Absolutely outstanding right there. So into the next one, and we'll see what we get. So like I was saying, what do we get? Azumarill. So switch straight out and hope that they don't have a Flyer. They have an Alolan Marowak, which is almost as bad. Let's see if we can get to the Acid Spray, which we can just. No shield, unfortunately. Would have been really good to get a shield. I'm going to come back in with the Bastiodon. And we're in a real tight spot again. So they're going to be throwing this energy. And so I think the right play there, to be completely honest, was to throw the Leaf Blade on the Shadow Vic, especially because we didn't get a shield. So out comes the Azumarill. I switch in just a fraction late and catch an Ice Beam. So good to catch an Ice Beam there and going to farm up. So for this one, I am going to shield and we'll see what we get. So it is another Ice Beam, so that's absolutely fine. Going to go for the Power Up Punch Bait and see what we get. Hopefully we get a shield, so no shield there. And going to shield again. Expecting to see a shield here. Because I double shielded, I was expecting them to drop at least one shield here. Unfortunately, they didn't. I should have just thrown the Psychic and fully taken out the Azumarill, but now I've got the Azumarill in the back, which is not ideal. So going to throw the Flamethrower here and get the second shield from this Shift Tree, and then it's a race to see if I can get to the next charge move. Unfortunately, I can't, and that's going to be a good game right there to my opponents. Able to take that game, managed to solid lead and able to maintain that throughout. So able to obviously counter swap in and punish me there. So let's see what we get in this next one. So Bastiodon into Shadow Vic. So interesting matchup. So for this one, I don't really like the match. So that's going to be too quick to be an Acid Spray. So it is going to be the Leaf Blade. So we'll shield that up, and then they swap in their own Shadow Vic. So it looks like they're running the Grasshole team, and I straight swap into my Medicham to deal some massive damage. So able to just straight Power Up Punch this thing. Not going to shield this up, even if it is the Flamethrower, which is the correct move. It's still going to do absolutely no damage, and then going to look to fully fast move farm that down and avoid that lag. So in comes the Shadow Vic. Going to throw the Power Up Punch, get the shield, and then go to absolutely town on farming that thing up. Able to throw another Power Up Punch. Let's see if I get the second shield. I get the second shield, so that's absolutely outstanding. And then I'll come in with my Bastiodon and farm down. So in comes the Galarian Stunfisk. So it would have been really good to have the Medicham still available, but able to come out with my own Shadow Vic. Shields are down on their side. I've got the one shield. So they're going to be able to get to... No, they're not going to be able to get to a Rock Slide before I can fully fast move farm them down. So Shadow Vic can withstand one Rock Slide, it does not like it at all, but because I had the shield advantage, I knew I'd be able to get to a leaf blade before they could get to 2 rock slides, well, 3 rock slides, and fully take me out. So a Bomb of Snow on the lead, and it's a shadow, so really good for me. In comes the Deoxys Defense, so expecting this to be a rock slide, but I will shield it up, and then I'm going to have to look to farm down. So the question is, do I throw? And unfortunately, they got to another rock slide, so really bad for me, but I do survive. So survive with 1 HP, and I've got managed to maintain switch, able to throw my charge move straight away, expecting a Bomb of Snow to come out. So going to swap in, watch that switch clock, because I do expect them to switch out of this any second. They're not switching, so that's fine with me. I'll throw this flamethrower. They do shield that up, and out comes the Azumarill. So switch into my Medicham now. So this puts us in a bit of a tough spot. I do know that there's the Play Rough shield, so absolutely spectacular. I do know I need to take this out, so I want to power up Punch first, and I know that they're going to be throwing the Play Rough, so power up Punch to boost my attack, and then I throw the Psychic to do huge amounts of damage. They throw the Play Rough, not quite enough to take me down, so counting those fast moves that they got off, and then looking to charge down the Azumarill, but thankfully they decide to switch in with their Bomb of Snow. They're going to throw a whole lot of damage. At this point, I'm getting close. I'm really worried. I want to store that energy so I can throw a move straight onto the Azumarill when it comes out. I'm able to do so. Throw the Rock Slide. It's got 1 HP, and it's done. So good game right there, and able to go another 4-1 in that set, so really good. And the reward is a Galarian Zigzagoon again, so back-to-back 4-1s and back-to-back Galarian Zigzagoons. So I really like the team, because people are not expecting a Medicham, so they do switch in, and then they're also not expecting the Psychic type, so hardly ever shield that on the Pokemon that it does neutral damage to, so really good there. So hopefully that was useful, just a slight variation. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.